Hello and welcome to Dr. VGP Talk Show, where your dreams unfold. Let your thoughts flow, where your dreams come alive, so that all your love for untold tales breathe. At Dr. VGP Talk Show, we speak so you can see and hear. Our guest today is a one-of-a-kind woman, a woman of conscience, a woman of conviction. Enigmatic, almost mythical. She breaks her silence. She speaks of her life, her passion, and her ultimate destination. Join me in welcoming Chicagoland's Wonder Woman. Yes, the Wonder Woman is none other than Mrs. Santosh Kumar. From Bharatpur, Rajasthan, India to South Barrington, Illinois has been an enchanting and inspirational journey so far. Mrs. Kumar, we are so delighted to have you on the Dr. VGP Talk Show today.
Thank you, Dr. VGP, for having me in your show.
Mrs. Kumar, tell us something about your early childhood which has made you such a sparkling personality today.
My early childhood was started in the Bharatpur, Rajasthan. I born as a youngest child of my mother-father. My father was Shambhu Dayalji Kushresht and my mother is Satyavati Kushresht. Very wise couple. Both are in such a tune I ever seen. My father was very philosophical. My mother was very wise and very deep rooted in religion. So they both has given me different personalities. In the sense, I was born girl, but I raised as a boy. Because
very interesting.
Right. My father saw me, some spark in me. He thought that I will be trained like a boy and I will rule a world one day.
Wow.
So he always kept with him. So he trained me in swimming, he trained me in horse riding, he trained me in shooting, and he took me always in the journey outside of the Bharatpur.
A phenomenal woman you are, being the youngest child of the Kulashetra family household. How did you emerge to becoming an attorney?
Attorney was another story because I supposed to be a doctor. Because I started as a biology student. I did graduation in the science biology and I supposed to be doctor. But meanwhile, I read so much about Gandhiji. And Gandhiji and Lincoln they were both my heroes. Then I thought they both were law graduate. So in my mind was going on, if I become doctor, I will not serve the country or the nation as much as I can do as an attorney. Because the righteousness and doing justice is such a deep rooted in me. I could not see injustice towards anybody whatsoever.
You were a student, the only lady student from Aligarh Muslim University in Aligarh in Uttar Pradesh, India. Tell us an interesting anecdote from Aligarh Muslim University, apart from all the Kashmirian boys being after you, being the only girl in the college.
See, when I was going to Aligarh Muslim University, people have a lot of apprehension. Okay, oh, the girl is going there. But when I went there, Aligarh Muslim University, I will give a credit, such a beautiful system there. You were protected as a girl because hierarchy is such a respect there for the seniors and the girl student. I was taken care by my classmates, by my seniors, by my professors. Because my brother-in-law also was there at that time. He was doing LLM at that time. So I was considered a very pampered student there. And I have such a good time in Aligarh Muslim University. Such a good culture which is unthinkable outside.
Mrs. Kumar, soon after you graduated from Aligarh Muslim University, you joined the Bar Association. You were a practicing attorney in Aligarh. You were also teaching law, I'm told. Now, you did some fascinating work in Madhya Pradesh for the women, building toilets.
There are two sections. For Madhya Pradesh, that was happened accidentally when I was very young, 21-year-old. I was crossing through the MP from going to the Mathura, which is at UP. Then I saw the women are defecating outside in the jungles, outside on the roads, and that I couldn't bear. So whatever money I had in my pocket, I took to the head of the village, please take this money and make some toilets for them. That was started, and I think I was given an award for by Shyamachandra Shukla at that time, Chief Minister of the Madhya Pradesh. It was because I say the injustice and beautiful life is my ingrained, or given by our Indian philosophy and the culture and our Vedas and our Upanishads. We are such a great culture, such a great tradition, good for everybody.
From that streak of service with Madhya Pradesh, from your legal background to your journey to Chicago, and how did Pramod Kumar ji, your husband, come into your life?
He came in my life by himself. That is my other desire. I will be taken by the boys. I will not go, because in India, girl parents has to go to boy house to ask a hand from them. But he came, and he belonged to a very high family in our #1 family of our Kulshreshtas, the clan. And he wanted me to come to Chicago, and our marriage was done in a week after we saw each other. And he was a person, I cannot tell you how great he was. When I came here, I was totally shocked to see here that there is no servant in home, and you have to do everything by hand, and I could not do that. And he said, okay, then we could go to India back, or I will hire people for you. And he hired a full-time person, housekeeper for me, and everything, my clothes was ironed by somebody else, by a separate person, and I will take care of that.
So you were a pampered child, Mrs. Kumar,
yes,
married to an IIT graduate from Kharagpur. And Pramod ji always used to tell me that you had a great love and passion for music, Bollywood. He also told us that when you were growing up, they used to say you looked like Nimmi. And then when you were in student days in Aligarh Muslim University, they used to call you Mumtaz. Oh, Mumtaz is coming to college. All the guys from Kashmir and your classmates, Mumtaz. And then now he says, you look like Sulkhan Shah Pandit. And so tell us about your interest in Bollywood and music. And
you know, in university time, boys see the girls and they resemble with the actresses of those times. So in their opinion, I was resembling to Mumtaz when I was growing up. Then I become a little more plump, so they are resembling to Sulakshana Pandit. So it is a very, and holy they give the title, okay, you are looking like that. So that was the reason.
So you have, apart from your serious side of you had a normal upbringing, like a fun-loving girl, seeing Bollywood movies, getting used to music, and Pramod ji took off from where your dad did. You were a pampered kid, you're a pampered wife, yes, and a pampered mother. And just like you said, your dad brought you up as a guy. I think Pramod ji also took care of the kids, Prashant and Sagar, like as a mom, while you were out doing whatever you were passionate about.
Whatever I could do, credit go to Mr. Kumar, my husband. He has given me full freedom. In fact, he kept me in a pedestal and fulfilled all my desire. Whatever I needed, money-wise, time-wise, I had full freedom. I have never, he demanded nothing from me.
When I first met you, Mrs. Kumar, that was on Dewan Avenue at 1343 West Dewan, where South Asian Family Services was a not-for-profit started by Reverend J.P. Singha.
Yes.
And I used to visit him often in the late 80s. And he said, oh, Dr. Vijay, we have a new Vista volunteer. And that was you at that time. So I think that was your foray into the not-for-profit in USA.
Yes, because my husband didn't want me to, there's no restriction to work for me because I was taken care of very, very well, because I came to a business family, because in the sense he was very affluent and already settled everything, so nothing was needed from me, but I could not sit idle with such a knowledge and passion to serve. So I got a call all of a sudden from Reverend J.P. Singha. We have a voluntary position, would you like to serve here? What you do? He said that we have a community services for legal profession and for social justice. Oh yes, that is my passion. So I went there and I helped him for immigration things, and I helped him for my social, all the public benefit program. I took the people for their making the card, medical card for them, social security for them.
Wow. As a wife of a business tycoon, Mr. Pramod Kumar, who was the leader in the brass industry, I'm told all the brass plates all over America behind hotel doors comes from your husband's company.
Yes.
I mean, it was so nice that you could mingle with those unfortunate ones. And that led you to your dream baby, your passion, Metropolitan Asian Family Services and Universal Metro Asian Services. Tell us how you grew that organization 29 years ago from 1992 to 2021. It's grown to become the largest ethnic senior not-for-profit organization in the whole country. Incredible, with 14 different offices all around Greater Chicago, and the 15th office being state-of-the-art, being built in the one. Tell us, what was the inspiration and how you built that organization? Today, how many programs do you serve? How many people do you serve, Mrs. Kumar?
As I say, it started with a thought that I couldn't bear the pain of my community, and especially the elderly people, because elderly are very reverent for us, for Indians.
Yes.
And I reverence my
Yes.
parents. I see my parents are in suffering there. That is the seed was grown in the Metropolitan Asian Family Services. And then I saw many, many needs, because no food was cooked in the home generally here, which we are very used to. Full time we used fresh food. So that's why the program was added for food program also. Now we are running at least 45 programs.
Wow, that's a large number of programs. And how many senior citizens are you currently serving?
I'm serving, if you take all the program together, more than 25,000 in a.
Wow,
right?
incredible.
It is.
Incredible.
For even home care, my monthly hours of the service is more than 200,000.
Wow.
For each home, where my worker goes to the elderly home 365 days a year. No holiday, no Diwali, no Christmas, they go to serve them.
Wow.
They're needed to be. And we have an elderly care program where we bring the people at our home, our centers, and from morning to evening, we look after their needs, from breakfast to lunch to after lunch and all the exercise, and we give them valuable information and knowledge how to keep healthy, how to keep out of the dementia, out of the depression, because people here are very depressed otherwise.
Now, your senior citizens, what is the oldest senior citizen using your services? 90, 95 plus?
Over 100 also.
Wow.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Amazing.
You'll be surprised.
Wow.
And they are singing and dancing. They are inspiration to us. My whole staff get inspired.
You have vans to bring them to your different centers on a daily basis?
Yeah, we have at least more than 60 vans now. Every year they are increasing. More, and we have 60 drivers at least.
It amazes me, Mrs. Kumar, you never stop working. Even at 72 years old now and 30 years of service, you are still toiling the field. You're still expanding the programs. I was told recently Senator Dick Durbin gave you a grant of nearly $479,000 to start a behavioral health program. Tell us about that. It's exciting.
See, pandemic has created such a mental disbalance in the society. I see a lot of depressions in the people, younger people, not only older. So this is the need of the time to help them to come out this pandemic, come out this fear of death, fear of losing dear ones. So that's the reason I started.
Today, mental health is so important, Mrs.
Yes.
Kumar, and you building another vertical, a 46th program to go into behavioral health, because public health pundits, I'm a public health professional myself, predict by 2030 that mental health will be America's #1 problem. And to see that you have the vision and the foresight to address it today by starting a behavioral health program is something truly phenomenal and formidable. Now, you received the Congressional Award for being a COVID-19 hero. Tell us what you did during this unprecedented global pandemic, COVID-19, here in US as well as the rest of the world.
Actually, during the pandemic, when everybody closed their centers, their services, we never closed.
Wow.
That I give my credit to my staff. Okay, they bravely came every day to cook the food, and we have delivered 62,000 meals in the home to home. And we have done 200,000 visits, wellness visits by our nurses and our skilled staff to look after their well-being and where they need, and took out of the fear from them. Okay, they should not succumb to this kind of pandemic fear. Okay, they will lose and they will not see any face. And our drivers and our people are the only face they saw during that time. Their family couldn't even come.
You are an incredible model where you have built this institution from your husband's business earnings. You have expanded it beyond horizons and still expanding. You also serve on several other organizations. You were the president for Bharat Sevak Sangha of America for the last 28 years, which has a ashram in Aurora with headquarters in Calcutta. You are also on Reclaim Happiness International, which is with the senior citizens all over the world. You're also for the New York National Senior Association, serving on the board of directors. You're part of the American Multi-Ethnic Coalition. Recently, you're president of the Gandhi Memorial Foundation of Chicago, where the full-size, life-size statue of Gandhiji is there in Skokie. So you are doing such phenomenal work, and let's go now and look at the statue, and you tell us, like you said earlier, Gandhi and Lincoln were your heroes.
Yes.
Now
yes.
you're the president of the Gandhi Memorial
My whole
Foundation.
life revolves around him.
Yeah, and you're in the land of Lincoln, the state of Illinois.
Yes.
So let's go.
It's a God plan, actually.
Praise.
My hero was Gandhiji and Lincolnji, and I lived my life with the principle of a Gita. Okay, what change you want, you become that change first. So I'm living the Gita principles in my daily life, and I'm doing the things for, like, righteousness is my biggest character of, I should say that. And I couldn't see injustice towards anybody. And
You
I
have
fought for
so
that.
many awards. Awards come to you on different occasions. So let's now go.
I'm very humble.
And let's now go and visit the Gandhi statue, which you are the president of the Gandhi Memorial Foundation, which maintains the only life-size statue of Gandhiji in the Midwest and here in USA.
Yes.
Let's go. Can we?
Okay, sure.
We are here at the Gandhi Statue in Heritage Park, Skokie, on McCormick Place between Dempster and Church Street. Mrs. Kumar, as president of the Gandhi Memorial Foundation of Chicago, we maintain the only statue of Gandhiji in the Midwest, life-size statue here. You have been supporting the foundation for the last years since 2004. Now, you aptly live one of my favorite quotes of Gandhi's: happiness depends on what you can give, not what you can get. And you have been embodified that quote.
Thank you.
What are your plans for this Gandhi Memorial Foundation of Chicago? You've become the president of in January 2021.
As you know, Dr. VGP, Gandhi philosophy is the mission of my life. It
Wow.
has changed, my life revolved according to his principles. And as you say, the giving is the thing, not the taking from the thing. So I'm here, but I'm very fortunate and I'm very thankful that this mission has taken me as a president of this organization, which I can take my life mission further. It's not only a statue, which is a very beautiful statue, as you can say, for 2004, looking like it live, completely live, with a pocket watches, because
Gandhi is
Gandhiji
famous
was
for
very
his
time
pocket
conscious.
watch.
No, not famous for watch. He was famous for having a consciousness of the time. Time is very valuable. Time is the essence of everything. If you do not do on the time basis, then there's no use.
And just like your other favorite hero, Lincoln, has said,
Yes.
happiness is in your mind, whatever you are to be. And both your favorite heroes, Gandhi and Lincoln, you're in the land of Lincoln. What is your plans for the Gandhi Memorial Foundation? Now, you just want the statue on
No.
October 2nd to have some flowers for Gandhiji, and on January 30th, his death anniversary. Is there something more substantial?
See, in the founder, which is Dr. Chandrakant Modi and his wife, they have done the basic job. Definitely, it is needed for the people to see. My job is to take his philosophy, his education to the whole world. Because right now, the world is going haywire. And they are looking at, I'm better, you are better, I'm best of the best, and you are not. That is not the thing. The philosophy of Hindu Dharma and the Sanatan Dharma, the Vedic, they say the Vishwa is a Kutum. So there's no difference, whatever you pray, it doesn't matter to me. But you think we have to do good to spread this word and leave this word to the next generation is a living place, is a living planet. We cannot play with the planet to make it as a not living planet.
What is your favorite quote of Mahatma Gandhi ji?
Be a change, but you are looking in the word.
And truth and righteousness.
Yeah.
Religion is not
Religion is, no religion is beyond that truth and righteousness. Righteousness is the thing.
And that's exactly what Mrs. Kumar is doing. She, on September 9th of 2021, she set up the International University of Vedic Wellness to talk about Hinduism on Upanishads and Vedas. And you did this as a direct response for the dismantling global Hinduism agenda. Some universities in the United States organized a 3-day workshop in Washington, D.C.
Some ill-thought people.
And your response was so perfect. In the non-violent Gandhi, instead of protesting about it, you sowed the seed of education in setting up this International Institute, University of Vedic Wellness.
As you say, reacting has no meaning because it's a laughing material. Dismantle, you have not made a Hindu dharma, you have not made this by yourself, it's scripted by the God. The Vedas has not written by those sages has worship and really do the penance for years and 1,000 years, but it has been given by the God directly. So no human being can dismantle.
Mrs. Kumar, you very well said, you've started this Ayurvedic wellness. You walked the path. Not only you set up the institute and had a press conference and announced it, I'm told that you have started Ayurvedic wellness sessions in Naperville in Santosh Land Ayurvedic Wellness. So let's go over there and take a look how you've started the International University of Vedic Wellness.
Please see how much goodness it can spread, how much it can take the pain out of the whole world without any discrimination.
We are at Santosh Land Ayurvedic Wellness, the International University of Vedic Wellness. So fast, it was just the other day that you announced you're setting up a university. Tell us about the Santosh Land Ayurvedic Wellness.
See, this concept was going on quite a year back. It's not like you are seeing right now the execution, but dream was there and the desire was there and the plan was there. So as soon as we open, then we open for the peace and happiness of the world. So my plan is to heal the world, to heal the Ayurveda means is a mind, body and spirit.
So this is the first practical seed for the university. This is the practical aspect of Hinduism. Ayurveda is an ancient
science for healing the whole body, keeping the balance of the natural balance of the body.
So it's mind,
very
body
natural.
And spirit.
Yes, mind, body and spirit, and having all the tattvas which inside the body, keeping them in balance. That is the health. If they go imbalance, then is it illness.
Ayurveda comes from God's own country, Kerala, India, an ancient form of Hinduism medicine which heals the mind and the physical part of the body. So today we are at Santosh Land Ayurvedic Wellness, which is located in Naperville. Right. This is the first stepping stone for the International University of Vedic Wellness.
This is just an introduction of the program where we will heal them. So we have a doctor here, we have a male doctor also here, we have a therapist here for male and female both, and we have a consultant here also for the medicinal advice for how to keep yourself healthy and how to fight the chronic disease also, because chronic disease has no cure in allopathy.
Yeah, I also see that you have followed the traditional practice here. They say no shoes beyond with the treatment area. Of course, here I know that we are, and this is just the administrative office of your Santosh Land Ayurvedic Wellness. So Ayurveda also, apart from therapy, you have some religious rituals which go along with it.
We will start with the ritual ceremony, because reason being, then we have to really make ourselves straight to accept the knowledge of the Vedas and of the God which has been given.
We have this elegant gentleman who's looking down and blessing us.
Right.
Could you tell us something about this beautiful portrait of this great man?
Yeah, actually, he is the inspiration behind all this in the sense also, because he is the great-grandfather of my husband, who had ruled the three states in India, Rajasthan, MP, and UP part of a little bit. And then he started the Agra University. He initiated the St. John's College, and he opened the schools for the girls in the villages, for in her own village, which is called Barhan, Agra. And then he make it up to the inter college. Now he is a graduate college now. So I am furthering his legacy. And not only that, anybody whosoever known or not unknown, he brought them home, the young children, the boys and girls both, and teach in his home.
Wow. So setting up universities runs in the family heirloom. Pramod ji, your husband's great-grandfather, set up the Agra University and St. John's College.
Was the chairperson of the committee of that
Committee of Agra University.
Right.
So this is a natural thing, and we wish this International University of Vedic Wellness, you explained to us its mission statement, and I think it's very a poignant need today, which will fill a gap in this digital age of medicine.
Digital and materialistic age, Dr. Prabhakar, because we are running for materialistic wellness, and we are looking for the peace. So there are two opposite things. We are doing the opposite thing and asking for peace and happiness and health, which is not possible. So this university will give the knowledge how you can get the peace, how you can get the health which you are looking at. You spend so much money, even then you are not happy and you are not well, and you are chronic disease day by day you are getting it.
You just heard the Wonder Woman of Chicago expressing her love for passion for making peace and happiness in the world. She is establishing this International University of Vedic Wellness. This is her new journey she is beginning. She has done tremendous, remarkable, path-breaking work in the field of senior citizens through her Metropolitan Asian Family Service organizations. We have started your journey from here, the planetarium. For you, a phenomenal Wonder Woman that you are, sky is the limit with the wonderful Chicago skyline. We started our talk show from the planetarium and the Chicago skyline. I'm guessing, Dr. Mrs. Santosh Kumar, 30 years you developed the Metropolitan Asian Family Services and the Universal Metro Asian Services for the senior centers. You are serving currently 25,000 senior citizens with a staff of 5,000. Incredible, through 15 centers throughout Greater Chicago. You did not let you rest on your past laurels, but rather you've gone to new frontiers, having served the Bharat Seva Sangh of America with Swami Purananda Swami from Calcutta for the last 25 years as their president. A small hidden secret of yours, you have an ashram nested away in Aurora, which has been having yoga, meditation, and doing a lot of Hindu religious activity there.
Right.
Not only that, you are an active member in the American Multi-Ethnic Coalition with the Multi-Ethnic Advisory Task Force of Congressman Danny K. Davis, and with the National Council of Senior Citizens in New York as the board of director.
Yeah.
You're a sought-after speaker, a writer. There are a couple of books written about you too, I'm told. And to top it all, you took on a new responsibility at your young age of 72 as president of the Gandhi Memorial Foundation of Chicago, and you have a very ambitious plan there. Not only statue tributes, but you want to bring Gandhi's actions and ideals into practice,
Right.
which is noble. And now we just visited phenomenal, the International University of Vedic Wellness, where you are bringing a new journey, spiritual journey. Has your journey ended or just beginning?
As you say, BJP, my journey which I did humanitarian work for all these years for my life, 50 years, 30 years here, 20 years in India. But it will live on. live on through my sons now, Prashant Kumar and Sagar Kumar, and my husband. Blessings are there. His legacy will go on with my staff, with such a committed staff I have, and my children are doing that. And now I'm starting my last journey, in a sense, a spiritual journey. Whole person, everywhere, no matter what creed, what color, what religion you are. Like Gandhi says, no religion is greater than truth and righteousness.
So you're planning to do a brick and mortar university,
Yes.
Mrs. Kumar?
Yes.
Explain to us about that.
Oh, my plan is to make a real brick and mortar university. So I'm looking for a space, which is a bigger space for 50 to 100 acre property. And I'm already seen a property in the Batavia and Oswego, and one is Warrington Hills also. So I'm planning to have a synergity and educational also. So both combinations I'm trying to. And our certification is going on. We are taking the.
You're getting it accredited to the
through
State
the
Council of
board
Higher
education of higher education, and we are our curriculum is going on, and I'm trying to have faculty members. So I'm talking to Jodhpur University in Rajasthan. So they have the established thing. I'm talking here, although my university here. So I'm planning to have a very knowledgeable teachers, so they can make an impact.
So you're going to give bachelor's, master's,
Yes,
postgraduate
certification.
diplomas and PhD degrees.
Yeah, certification also.
And are you going to only your University of Vedic Wellness, Dr. Mrs. Kumar? Is it just going to be Hindu studies, or you're integrating the regular digital age subjects, computer
Digital age.
science, industrial
At
hygiene,
this age,
public health?
At this age, I have to inculcate all the digital knowledge also through all the media also, because this is the age when you can read, you can study from any country. So this will be a very
So you're
ambitious
telling
plan.
me your subjects of business administration, your subjects of commerce and science will be integrated with Hindu philosophy.
Absolutely.
While
Hindu
you'll be telling
philosophy
them,
is a science.
and while the normal routine subjects which are taught in the regular universities
Right.
will be taught in your Vedic Wellness University,
Absolutely.
along with the
Absolutely.
Hindu
But
knowledge.
I have to really dispel the wrong information and do the Vedic University is based on the science, very serious science, and you will be surprised. In those days, there was no lab. Even then, how could they do it? Unless the God has given them as a Riddhi and Siddhi.
We really have a very phenomenal Wonder Woman of Greater Chicago. She's building a very ambitious international university of Vedic wellness. Now tell me, Mrs. Kumar, about you. I've also read recently about your passionate efforts to strengthen Indo-US ties.
Yes, because that is the true democracy of the world. India is the oldest and America is the newest but very powerful. So if we make them together, the spirituality and materialism and the science development, if we make them together, then the world will have benefit so beautifully.
So what have you personally contributed? You're talking about metaphysics, and which we hear all the time everywhere. But you as a person, how have you contributed recently to strengthen Indo-US relationship? Give me one example.
Example is very recent. When the
Good,
people
go
tried to malign the Indian democracy, malign the Indian philosophy and the dharma.
How did they try to malign?
Because they
explain to
are
me and
passing
the
a resolution.
I mean, the anti-India
Anti-India,
resolution. Where did they
anti-India.
pass it?
Right here in City Council.
City of Chicago.
They're trying to. But we have to put together, I have to put together, though our all leaders worked. But what I contribute is, I made a bigger hangama and talked to each and every our
So on
aldermen.
March 24th, 2021, Mrs. Kumar and her colleagues gathered together and defeated the anti-India resolution in city of Chicago, right here. The alderman of 49th Ward, Maria, where your office is located there, and your residents, senior residents appealed to Mrs. Kumar saying there's a resolution which, seniors, all of them feel India is very precious, the heritage of the motherland. Something misinformation is being spread. So they approached her and she got together a group of people, had a trolley ride, had a press conference, did a lot of WhatsApp and social media.
Other leaders of the Chicago
and
who are also
you were
making
able
effort.
to defeat.
Right.
You were able to defeat the resolution. I think that's a great thing, because Chicago was the only city in the whole country where this resolution was defeated. The same resolution was
passed in
other cities, 12 cities.
Yeah.
Apart from that, I've seen you've gone to India and organized talk to the minority communities about the Article 370 and Article 3. A lot of Indian issues you've been in the forefront. Could you tell us what you did in that?
See, Article 370 is very close to my heart in the sense because of all my classmates were Kashmiri and they were really suffocated through Article 370. They could not marry when they want to marry in the Aligarh University, when they became a student of Aligarh Muslim University. They want to marry, but they could not marry because if they marry, they are disowned by the family and the property was not given to them. This is a complete wrong thing. In a same country, there's different rule, different constitution. No country in the world can have two constitutions in the same country. And two flag of it as an identity of a Bharat.
So you are an Indophile. Not only you have a burning desire to serve humanity, and you are serving humanity. You have a burning desire to spread Hinduism, and you are serving Hinduism.
Actually,
now you have a burning desire to be an Indophile and talk about the greatness of India and the current government and its reforms. So
current government is doing good for the people to have this is the CA is just to count a person, like you have a social security number here.
Yeah, but Mrs. Kumar, there is so much of people, you're saying this, we hear the
wrong
other side,
information.
that minorities in India are being burdened, are being curtailed. What is your
On the
thought
contrary, minorities are having more rights than the majority, if you ask me. And they are very well taken in by Indian government from the ages. They have a special right.
With all these things, do you plan at any time? Do you plan at any time to stand for elected office?
That I could have done 20 years ago, I should say. And this way I would try to give more education to the people in the right way. Because fighting will not take us anywhere. We have to understand this planet has to be coexist by each and everyone, and we can give the good to each and everyone. Not by fighting, not by taking force of you or force of that. No, that is not the philosophy. Okay. That's not the dharma.
A phenomenal wonder woman, Mrs. Kumar, you are. You know, the book of recently has been published about you as the COVID hero. It's a textbook of all what you stand for. You are a woman who walked the talk. Everything is documented in action. It's such a wonderful testament to your life, just the last 1 or 2 years. And you also received an honorary doctorate for your work, which is truly fulfilling. Tell me and tell our viewers, what is your ultimate destination?
My ultimate destination is to bequeath all my material wealth of my husband's trust to the development of this university and give the lamp of knowledge to the people around the world to benefit about it.
Wow, that is so amazing that you are bequeathing your whole wealth and your husband's whole wealth to the International University of Vedic Wellness, which you just founded. Mrs. Kumar, thank you so much for coming, and we hope that all of us can be part of your journey.
Please.
In trying to establish
carry
this.
further.
And I'm sure that your torch of knowledge will be brightly shining everywhere throughout. This beautiful Chicagoland is going to benefit for generations to come from what you're going to do. Thank you for joining us again today on the VGP Talk Show. And thank you
so much.
and wishing you every best in everything that you're doing and going to do. Thank you.
Thank you.